Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is Frank the Man. I'm here to talk to you about another Spanish horror film. Spanish Canadian to be exact this time. We're going to talk about Mama. It's the 2013 film um, from executive producer Guillermo del Toro. So it has great um, great backup. So it's a film that certainly does have some of the nightmarish visuals and atmosphere that Del Toro has been able to bring to his films. Some such as Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, and The Devil's Backbone. But this time is directed by the Argentinian director Andres Muchetti, and it does. Let me tell you, the director does a good job. It's actually Mama is right off the bat. It's a good film. It's creepy. Has the numerous visuals require for you to. It has a lot of jump scares. However, to be honest, it's not one of my favorites. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the great things about it. It has really good things about it, but it has also some flaws that we must point out. Well, right off the bat, this film is based on an Argentinian, I believe it's a 2008. Yeah, it's a 2008 short film. Actually, pretty creepy about these two little girls that have this specter, this ghost that raises them as children in a house, which I recommend that you look it up and if you get to see. I think if you I'm not sure, but I think one of the DVD releases is included in there. And I certainly can tell you that the short matter, it's really creepy, and being made into a full feature film, it does have a lot of creepy moments. So let's first of all go with the cast here. We are Jessica Chastain is along with Nikolai Coster Waldau, and we got Megan Charpentier and Isabel Nelise as the two little girls. Megan being the older little girl playing Victoria, which right off the bat, let me tell you, that's one of the best, actings in the film. She does great. The two little girls are by far the best part of this movie. The way they act, it's just superb. And I let's just dive right into the plot. So you have this deranged father that has committed murder, has killed I believe, killed the mother of these two little girls. He's their father, and he's going around fleeing, and he has committed murder with somebody else. He's under economic distress. So in the running away part, this man has an accident and crashes in the woods. He survives with the two little girls, and they go into the woods, and they go into this unknown, obscure cabin, and this place is inhabited by an evil entity, an evil spirit. And when he's thinking about committing suicide and killing the two little girls and taking them with him, this specter gets a hold of him and kills him. And there's very little spoiler because this is just basically the beginning of the movie. And then he basically these two little girls get raised by a ghost, by this entity, this evil entity. And the movie just fast forwards a while when the two little girls spend years being raised by the specter, and the twin brother of the man who committed suicide, is looking for them, sponsoring the search, and finds them, but finds the two little girls in a feral state. they're kind of wild because they were very young. I think they were 3 and 1 year old when they were, so they really haven't had any human contact. They were, authorities think that they were either raised by animals or raised by themselves, and they believe that they have a psychological problem when they have created this persona, which is mama, as a way to cope with the fact that they didn't have a mother, and they don't believe the supernatural side. I'm gonna leave it there as far as the story, because the story basically it follows them as the twin brother of the deceased man, deceased father of the two little girls, tries to raise them alongside with his girlfriend, and lots of troubles ensue. And I think that the premise of the story, it's actually incredibly well done. I do think that the acting of the two little girls all throughout is just phenomenal, especially Victoria. But that's where things start to break down. Um, well, let's say another great thing before we start talking about the negatives. The actual special effects are pretty good. I won't say they are great, but they're pretty good. Especially in the very beginning, there's a very creepy feeling, and it's that's alongside with Guillermo del Toro's the type of tradition of doing things right. But now that I said what I like, let me tell you what I don't like. And I did not care for the ending. I think that it was not. I didn't leave with a good feeling out of the theater. I don't know. It's just there's this thing that Guillermo del Toro has with these fairy tale endings, but this one just didn't work for me. You can tell me in the comments if you did not agree, but the ending kind of, lessens the movie a lot for me, personally. I just didn't think that that would be the way that things would go on. But I'm somehow nitpicking. I mean, it is an ending. It's not completely outrageously bad like some other movies I've seen, but it definitely lacks. Let's just say that. And another thing that lacks is the fact that the Mama the ghost is shown way too much. I think this is especially with CG, less is more. I found myself more creeped out by the little, um, uh, short, the 2.5 minute short that this movie was based on, creeped me more out than the actual movie. At first, the movie was really creeping me out, but then they started to show Mama entirely too much, and that was the problem. The more you see her, the more you're just not scared of her, and definitely, it's just something that if you see a little of it, it's a monster myth. You just never show them until the end, and you know that's a monster formula that's been working for ages, and they don't follow this. Well, I guess kudos try to break out from the story, but they definitely, I didn't think that they did a good service to this movie by just having it just way too much showing her, and that detracts. The other thing that I didn't care for is the acting of the adults here. It borders into the really okay to bad. Um, it's just adequate. I didn't buy especially didn't care about the. I'm not sure this is related to the story and the characters, but it's basically I just didn't care about some of the characters were treated and done as far as the adults. There's just so much things that are lacking and they just don't make sense. It's kind of a confusing plot. Later on it gets really, I mean, I'm just trying to simplify it for you, but if I was to keep telling you the story, it's just gonna make things, you're gonna spoil more and I'm gonna confuse you more. So this is definitely, I like Mama. I would recommend that you see it. There's some good jump scares on it. However, I don't think this is a must see. This is definitely B minus, C plus entry. Still good to watch. I will still own it if you get a chance, but it's not. It's not Pan's Labyrinth. It's not The Devil's Backbone. I mean, this was not directed by Guillermo del Toro. It has some of his influence, but it's not all him. So it lacks. It suffers. And I hope you still watch this movie though, because I think it's still pretty good. I mean, I'm glad I saw it, and I was scared a little bit about it, but it's just that the more I kept watching, the less I became interested on it. So it became sort of forgettable. There's nothing new. There's no new background, and the ending just left me not feeling well. So there you go. So this is Mama. If you agree with me, tell me so. Tell me why in the comments. If you didn't, then fine. You're allowed to disagree with me. If you love this movie, tell me why did you love it. And subscribe, please. Help me make more videos, because I want to keep making videos for you guys. I want to develop an audience. And please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. I would really love it. I would really thank you for it. And leave comments, and I'll be great. I check these things every day, and I want to keep making videos just for you guys. Next, I'll be going a little bit on the cheesy Spanish horror, going with El Santo, with Samson, like it's called in English. And I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.